My man Oak can't catch a break these days, huh? Yo, what's up everyone? Trainman1 here. Welcome back to another Pokemon Journeys anime review, guys. Today we are covering episode 114, Ash versus Paul, the training battle. Let's go ahead and get right into it. It's clear to say that this episode right here is what we needed in Pokemon Journeys a long time ago. The episode literally starts with Ash and his Pokemon training. We get to see Sirfetch'd and Lucario finally training. That scene from the opening 2 that we've been waiting for. We finally get to see it here. And man, I'm just loving, how ready Ash is getting for the Masters 8. Like, he's taking this thing serious now. I know the issue we had with Ernie's Journeys is that, he was in the PWC, but we never seen him train his Pokemon. We never... I don't know, it was just so inconsistent. It didn't really feel serious, but now that we're here at the Masters 8, they are taking it serious, and I'm loving, all the training and the development. Even Dracovish is training for the first time. And then, he gets the call from Oak, and that's where he gets the idea to go train with his old Pokemon, which, man, I've been wanting this for the longest. Like, when Ash lost to Bia, I was like, okay, he's going back to Alola. Maybe the Alola team is going to train this team to get better for Bia, but that didn't end up happening. But I'm glad that we're finally getting that here with the Journeys team. And honestly, we all had the issue of Journeys being episodic, but for this episode, for all that they had to do, I feel like they perfectly balanced everything. With Ash reuniting with his Pokemon. Like, I guess since we already seen them reunite earlier, like this one kind of felt a little bit better. But we even get to see more Pokemon like Sceptile, Snivy, the Pokemon that were missing from the first return. So, it just felt all so good. When at the same time, the Pokemon are training each other, reuniting with Paul, and actually battling Paul all in the same episode. I feel like this episode was handled perfectly. Like, Ash's Pokemon training the new Pokemon was one of the biggest things I loved the most, because Ash was going to go train him, but he was like, let the Pokemon train, which that's kind of what Ash in Journeys does a lot. When he went back to Greninja, he kind of just let Greninja and Lucario do their thing and let Greninja train Lucario. Here, he's letting all his old Pokemon train the Journeys team. You could have did the same thing when you lost to Bia, Ash. We could have had them, in the side doing some training, but, they didn't know what they were really doing then, but I'm glad that they finally fixed it now. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but Gengar training with the fire types really felt special to me, because don't forget, Gengar was also abandoned. He was abandoned for 3 years by his trainer, Infernape, Paul. So I feel like there was some tie-in just because they did mention the whole Paul and Infernape story. Like, they actually showed us flashbacks. They basically just told the whole Sinnoh to go in the span of like 2 minutes, which was pretty funny to me. And also, even Charizard and Pignite, they also were abandoned as well. So seeing that they were able to help push Gengar forward, it really felt so special to me, especially with, Gengar being the final fight against Paul. I really do feel like they played off in the old series to make this fight special, because they had Gengar be the main focus. And even at the end, all the fire types come and cheer on Gengar, emphasize on Infernape and Charizard, and, Pignite too, but not as much. And a small nod, I love that Ash's Pokemon are still growing, even though we're not seeing them on screen, because Infernape is actually shown to have learned Fire Punch, which was pretty cool. We get to see Lucario training with Heracross, Weasel, and Hawlucha, and I just love that he's training with Weasel and Hawlucha, just because of the fact that both Weasel and Hawlucha have faced Lucarios before, with Weasel tying with Maylene's and Hawlucha fighting against Karina. So, they really did pay attention to details in this episode and make it just feel so special, with Dragonite training with all the flying type Pokemon, and, even Sirfetch'd got to train with our boy Satoshi Nijimata. That's right, folks. He was the Who's That Pokemon title card. And honestly, I wish that Sirfetch'd got a little bit more too, because, Gengar got a fire type move training with the fire types. Sceptile is here training with Sirfetch'd. Sirfetch'd can learn Leaf Blade, and Leaf Blade is a very good move on Sirfetch'd, because I would know for myself, because I have a Sirfetch'd on my team. But that would have been so cool if Sceptile taught Sirfetch'd Leaf Blade in that moment right there. I would have been like, yo, but who knows? Maybe they're saving it for the Masters 8. And as for the battle itself, I feel like the battle was amazing. It was interesting that Paul had the 3 Pokemon, Gyarados, Metagross, and Garchomp, the 3 aces of 3 of the Masters 8. So that was really cool how he actually came here to prepare Ash for those opponents. But also say for the battle itself, I loved most of the battle. I'll say the only one that was kind of just a little bit iffy is the Lucario versus Gyarados, because I felt like the way Lucario won was kind of weird. Like, it learned Bullet Punch, which was amazing. Like, I'm glad that it finally has a 4th move, because I was wondering it was a reversal, Force Palm, but now we know it's Bullet Punch. But I felt like the way that they kind of did it could have ended off as a tie, and that would have been cool. Lucario and Gyarados both taking each other out, but the way Lucario won and just kind of took the Hyper Beam, it felt a little cheesy in my opinion. Like, Lucario's wins do feel forced sometimes, but I'm not too upset with it, because, it has this big Aura Bond and Greninja power-up. So obviously they're trying to make it stronger than the others. The attention to detail was really nice too, with Paul's Gyarados even using the Ice Fang the same way that Lance's did. I really feel like though Lucario could have benefited from having a little bit more struggle, because it gets captured by the tail, something that reminded him, with Bia, and then it's just kind of struggling, and he uses Steel Beam on his own to get out of that. I feel like this like weird thing with Ash and Lucario where when he's in a sticky situation, Lucario has to get him out himself. I really wish that they kind of tackled on that, because even when Machamp was kind of just beating him up, Lucario had to headbutt him to get out of that. Like, Ash wasn't really doing nothing except trying to Mega Evolve. Here, he's a Steel Beam on his own. I really wish they kind of made Lucario and Gyarados tied, just to show, like, okay, there's still a little bit of things that even Ash and Lucario need to work on, but they didn't do that. But still, it was still cool to see him develop. As for Dragonite, oh, poor Dragonite, you became the Goodra. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm actually glad that Dragonite lost here, because if he fights either Iris or Cynthia, they both more than likely have Garchomps. We know Iris may have a Garchomp, and Cynthia has a Mega Garchomp. So if Dragonite comes back and beats Mega Garchomp, or even Iris's Garchomp in that next fight, then that would feel so much better. Obviously, I'm rooting more for Mega Garchomp for Cynthia, so that would be pretty amazing to see. He lost to a Garchomp here. He does a little bit of training before the Masters 8 tournament, and he's able to come back and win against the Mega form. That would be really nice. Also, I do like that Ash came up with new strategies as well. Like, I remember the first time I saw that weird Draco Meteor rush, I was like, what the heck is this? Why does Draco Meteor look so weak? But the way that they showed off in this episode, it actually was pretty cool. And to see that, Garchomp was able to still take it and take it out shows Paul's strength, and that Ash still needs to do some work before the Masters 8. And obviously the last fight was Gengar versus Metagross. I love that Gengar was able to hold his own and take down a regular Metagross. And we do know that Gengar is going to be used in the Steven fight, so maybe we'll see G-Max Gengar versus Mega Metagross. He used the new Will-O-Wisps to his advantage, and I gotta say this fight was pretty good, because even Gengar struggled. Like, Gengar and Dragonite had way more of a struggle than Lucario did, in my opinion. And I really enjoy how they handled Gengar here, where Paul is, saying, you're supposed to be part of the Masters 8. If you can't beat me, then how are you going to be able to do anything against them? Like, I really loved how Paul was pushing Ash in this fight and pushing Gengar as well to do better. And now with Gengar having Will-O-Wisp, I'm guessing it forgot Ice Punch, because they did the whole, you feel cold, but now you feel hot thing. So Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Sludge Bomb, and Will-O-Wisp. That's some pretty cool moveset in my opinion. Paul is honestly another example of a character return done right, because he keeps his edge and his cool, but it also shows that he's grown. He's like, Electivire, go play. He's, after this Pokemon loses, like, you did good. Paul has grown a lot, but he still keeps that edge. He's pushing Ash. He's calling him pathetic. So I really do love Paul's character in this. And at the end, Oak even mentions that he's been recommended to become a gym leader. So Paul has really grown and came a long way. Honestly, I wish he was a part of the Masters 8, or maybe lost right before getting into the Masters 8. Like, I know Goggles actually mentioned he could have lost to Alon. That would have been real cool. But in the end, he just says he's not with the festivities, which I guess that's okay as well. But hey, it's still good to see him once again, and to see him and Ash have a nice battle. This episode's rating is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. I loved how they used all these old elements to help the new. That's one thing I've been wanting from Journeys since the very beginning. When we heard that this was going to be a World Series, it's like, yes, use the old to help the new. But they really weren't doing that in year 1 and 2. But I'm glad that they finally got it together in year 3. Now, yes, like I did mention earlier, even though the Lucario thing was could have been better, that doesn't really hurt the score for me. At first it was 9.5, but I'm going to keep it at 10, because just the development for Gengar, all three of these Pokemon being able to use new moves, which is where I really hope Surfetch and Dracovish come back with new moves later. Speaking of Dracovish, all these Pokemon are training, and what are you doing? Taking a bath. Come on, Dracovish. But yeah, everyone, thank you all for watching. Hope y'all enjoy. In the comment section down below, let me know what you all thought of this episode. I'd love to hear. TradeMan1, peace out.